Good evening, friends. And here today we have, after a very long time, we have Desh Kapoor here along with us. Welcome, Desh.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jaidev.
So, in today's session, we'll be revealing a lot of interesting insights into geopolitics as well as Indian politics. So, Desh, what is very interesting is that there has been a video clip circulating around with regards to the Israeli intelligence agency Mossad, catching Sam Pitroda red-handed. So, what is this all about?
Hey, yeah, I think thanks so much, Jaidev. Like it's always great to come to your show. So thank you again for calling me. Yeah, so this thing I did a few months back when the Operation Zeppelin. That's what that operation was called for Mossad, and the reason was actually just about the time when Dani had actually bought the Haifa port. Around that time when they were finalizing the acquisition, at that time this Hindenburg story came out. So because it involved something that was going on with the Haifa port and Israel, that is why Mossad got involved with all this. And what they found out was simply startling. They found encrypted chats because they actually followed the whole process that with their technology. So they found encrypted chats. There were foreign funding. There was global coordination. And they traced the whole thing to one address in Illinois, Oak Brook Terrace. Remarkably, that was the headquarters of the Indian Overseas Congress, which is led by Sam Pitroda. So all the chats and the documents that they found there, the digital trails that were there, it all actually linked to actually Rahul Gandhi, whom Mossad was calling the bitter dynast. And they also revealed, because it was a very long document, right? So it was around 350 odd pages long. And they found out how, Rahul Gandhi had met with the Hindenburg operatives during his Stanford visit. When he had gone to the US, he had met some people in Stanford. And they, like according to the report, their sources had revealed that they had said, the operatives had said that we will finish Adani and Modi. So basically, this whole thing about and the report had actually mentioned USAID, OCCRP, some Western media outlets, and some hedge funds which were linked to the Democratic Party as well, and they all joined together to amplify the whole thing. And quite honestly, when the report had come out and I had looked at the report, I was really aghast because like I remember writing on my Facebook that uh, if during my MBA, if I had written this kind of report, my professor would have flunked me because it was such a amateurishly bad report, like from a financial standpoint, because all they had, I mean, they had used, adjectives and things like that just to enhance things which, Adani Group had already mentioned in their prospectus, the IPO prospectus. They were they were thrown in there as if they were some new discoveries. So all that thing, and like if anybody knows anything about finance, they know that all those things that were there in the prospectus earlier on for earlier IPOs, they've all been factored in by the market. So I was like, what are they really saying? And it was amazing that as soon as the report came out, within minutes, at 2:23 a.m. IST, the National General Secretary of the Indian Overseas Congress, Sandeep Bangala, he actually did a tweet. So all this was there. I mean, it's not something that I'm making up. I mean, it's just a public like knowledge. But the thing is, the way the whole thing was orchestrated was extremely interesting. So one should ask questions about whether this is just normal political opposition or is this actually sabotage? Uh, if opposition is really opposition, or are they enemy of the state? So I think like one needs to ask those questions. We have come to that point now.
And has there been any links of George Soros Foundation in that document, the
Yeah,
Open
OCCRP.
Society?
Yeah, OCCRP and George Soros as well. Yes.
Okay, okay. And so the also very interestingly, the latest news is that a FIR has been registered against Sanjay Kumar, a cephalogist affiliated with the Lokniti CSDS for spreading false information and elected-related violations in Maharashtra's Nagpur. So, according to the news agency, the complaint has been filed under multiple sections of the BNS. So, for his controversial social media post related to the Maharashtra Assembly elections. So, this Sanjay Kumar as a whole, it's very suspicious individual indeed, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, he's the co-director of the Lokniti CSDS, and what he has done, trying to show that almost 38% decrease in the voters between the Lok Sabha and the assembly polls, and how the other seats had like somewhere around 43 to 40% increases. So it was like he was trying to actually question the entire credibility of the election commission, which he should have known better. So the Indian Council for Social Science Research, which funds CSDS, which is a think tank, they have accused him of the data manipulation and trying to create a narrative where where he was almost undermining the entire integrity of the election commission, knowing fully well that the opposition right now, especially Rahul Gandhi, was using it to drum it up. So it doesn't matter whether something is correct or not, but the opposition always keeps using all these things. So both Rahul Gandhi, Pawan Khera, and all these people have used this in their vote chori campaign, right? And they'll keep continuing to push it up, which is something that our government should have actually seen through. And unfortunately, I think like it didn't tap it at the right moment. But I think now is the time to go after him very ruthlessly, because you cannot be part of the government and yet sabotage it, because that's what he was doing.
Yeah. Also, if you're aware, the CSDS has a lot of foreign funding as well. So a lot of foreign
Right.
fund is coming in. So this is also like it ties to what you said, that there is a lot of foreign funding to somehow dislodge Prime Minister Modi and create discord within the ranks of the BJP.
Right. Yeah, that Savio Rodriguez has also been talking about the Operation 37, where the aim is actually to bring down Modi ji, because first initially they were okay with India but without Modi and BJP. Now they are okay with even BJP but without Modi. So they are trying their level best to actually bring it down. And there are two events which are happening. One is the Bihar elections, which they will try and do their level best to bring down as much as they can. The current government, and also the other one is the VP elections, where they are actually trying to use that ex-judge who was very close to Chandrababu Naidu, so that they can influence the Telugu Desam, which is one of the main NDA ally, to actually go away from NDA. So So I think they are trying their level best to bring down the government as much as they can, and then have someone who's more pliable and create something different, or have somebody from BJP or some other party who is more pliable. Because see, the thing is, I think we have talked about this earlier also. We have to remember that before 2014, India was really on sale, in terms at the highest, leadership level. Um, uh, like, the Mitrokhin archives has always talked about, had already talked about, Indira Gandhi being on KGB rolls. Now, like, one doesn't know whether that was true or not, but Mitrokhin archives, was the summation of what KGB had. So if KGB was saying that Indira Gandhi was on, rolls of KGB, then there was, somebody should have taken it seriously. There was a lot of information there. And in fact, Oleg Kalugin, who was there as the director of, their main directorate K, had said that India was on sale. Anybody could buy anyone. It was so open. So, so for the first time, it has happened that after 2014, India has not been on sale. So that is why India has been able to fight against all these things that were happening. And it's not easy. See, US has this thing where they give guarantee for both the US dollar as well as for NATO. Now, how can you give a guarantee if you can't control the world? So they go after every leader, every country, every society, which they cannot control. So if they cannot control anyone, they try their level best to bring it down. They villainize them. They ensure that person, loses entire credibility, and they come down. So, so that is the one big issue that Modi ji has, that he is not going to be controlled, and that is something that plays against the whole controlling nature of the American state itself. So, and plus now with the whole BRICS thing coming up, where BRICS is more powerful than the G7, where G7 has 7 countries of the entire Western Hemisphere, whereas BRICS has only 5, and yet they are bigger. So there is some shift happening that people need to realize, and that is why they are even more miffed, with Modi ji. So it's so this entire idea that like, I know there are a lot of people who, even BJP supporters, who say, how does it matter whether it's Modi ji or somebody else, because ultimately the country will keep running. Like, they used to say the same thing when India was enslaved by the British. India, the British actually looted $45 trillion. Now, that figure everybody knows. What there was another figure in that entire report, which was that if India had not been colonized by the British, then Utsav Patnaik had said that in 2006, India's GDP would have been $230 trillion. Just for context, US's GDP today is $23 trillion. So India's GDP in 2006 would have been 10 times America's GDP today. So it's, when you are a $1 trillion or $4 trillion, like that makes a big difference. And when you are from $4 to $10 trillion, it makes an even bigger difference. And people go after you. So so why are they going after Putin? In 1995, Russia's per capita GDP was $1,330. Today, it is $14,000. That's a big difference. So people, 10 times increase is not a joke. And that is when Russia was under sanctions and they had so many issues. So So people do not realize the immensity of being free, the immensity of controlling your own future. People do not understand the value of that, and that is a sad point because we have been enslaved for so long. We think, it's very common for Indian commentators to think it is okay to be somebody's slave. It is okay to be controlled by someone else. At least that will give us some money. People do not realize how what kind of cost one has to bear for that.
Also, very interestingly, Deshji, that Amit Shah introduced three key bills in the Lok Sabha aiming to mandate the resignation or automatic removal of the Prime Minister, Chief Ministers, and Ministers if they are arrested and detained for 30 consecutive days. So, this is a huge move.
Right. Yeah, I think like maybe the time for some Congress leaders to be arrested has come finally. So, and it is time for people to actually be accountable, to the public, because they use the entire court system in a way that like nobody can do anything against them. I mean, even like the terrorists, Khalistani terrorists have become MLAs in Punjab and MPs from Punjab. So what do you do? So this way, the entire parliament can be full of just criminals, or the assemblies can be full of criminals. It is for the people to think how they would want their leaders to be. Would they want a person who has been arrested and in jail to be their prime minister or the leader of the entire state? Because nowhere is it allowed. This way. It is only in India that people from the jail start contesting elections. That's the sad part.
Yeah, also the fact that BJP is not going very aggressively against the likes of the Gandhis, because I think they fear sympathy wave, isn't it?
Right, that's one thing. The other is that like you can't get a more stupider opposition than Rahul Gandhi. Now think of it: if as long as Rahul Gandhi is there, then Congress leadership will always be Rahul Gandhi. The moment Rahul Gandhi vanishes away, you could have the likes of Shashi Tharoor and other people come up as the leaders. That may actually be a game changer. So I think it is great for BJP and for the country that at least the leadership of Congress is Rahul Gandhi, whom everybody knows is a corrupt individual, and he will not let any sane person even come close to the Congress leadership. It will always be a dynastic thing. So I think like they want to play it out as much as they can, because as see, the thing is, Congress is like a cabal of people who are either criminals or people who are looters and plunderers, and that's what they have been doing. So they need someone up there under whom they can actually keep doing whatever they are doing. As soon as Gandhis leave Congress, it will break away. It will break into different parts because nobody can tolerate the other person. Do you think Pawan Khera can tolerate Shashi Tharoor or like somebody else? Like nobody can tolerate each other. They all want to loot the country, the society, the city, the state. They don't want to give that to anyone. So, like you have seen, what is the situation in Karnataka. So that is how things are. So I think it's great for BJP that Gandhis are there at the helm of Congress, because
Do
they
you
would let
see,
anyone.
Desh, do you see, BJP winning very comfortably in Bihar?
I don't see that. I think there will be a big fight, so it won't be that easy because Prashant Kishore is there and Tejasvi Yadav and all those people are there. So it's not going to be that easy for anyone. So I think like it will be a big fight, but BJP has to fight as hard as it can because see the thing is that this whole EVM thing, that they keep saying, uh, EVM is not easy to hack, but then there are different ways that the entire election can be, hacked through misinformation, disinformation, and lies. And that is something that the opposition is extremely good at because that's what they have been trying, whether it was CAA, farmer laws, or whatever farmers laws or whatever it was. It was all disinformation and misinformation, and yet they kept on throwing that on the public. Somewhere India should also come up with this own version of how to stop the misinformation and disinformation, just like the US had. So,
Yeah.
right.
Also, yeah, that's the thing because Congress also has given a lot of cash for social media influencers in India to push this vote chori campaign in different states and somehow convince the normal Indian voter to somehow change his mind by feeding this misinformation. And also, point number two is there's a lot of illegal Bangladeshi immigrants in India. So that is changing the whole demography in India. So by that also they hope to somehow win elections in certain states. So do you see all these 2 points they're using, the Congress and the opposition?
Yeah, I think that has been the main, strategy for most of the opposition parties, whether it was TMC or other parties, because like anywhere you go, whether you are going to Uttarakhand or Chandigarh or like Delhi, in areas where like it was not there, or Pune, you see now that things have changed. The demography has changed. The census has not happened, and so people don't know how much of change that has happened, but there is a perceptible difference in areas of the whole like demography changing, and that is not going to be so easy to manage going forward because there is a cost that one has to pay. So I think it is extremely short-sighted, but like nobody can accuse opposition of being long-sighted or being nationalistic because they've never been like that. Like from the beginning itself, whether it was even Nehru, the kind of things that he did against India, to help Pakistan, whether it was Indus water treaty, or it was giving land to China and saying, well, no blade of grass grows there. Really? I mean, like you gave the entire Karakoram pass to those guys, and you think that was a joke? Because that is what has happened with these guys. So they have been very short-sighted all the way, like all the time, and everybody is paying the price for that.
Yeah. Also, coming to geopolitics, now ever since we had our sessions, if you remember when Donald Trump came to power initially, he went so much against the American deep state, right? And then after that, his level of aggression toned down. Then he split with Elon Musk. And what is exactly happening between him and the deep state, the so-called American deep state?
Yeah, I think. See, the thing is, we think it is a deep state is some kind of homogenous group, because it is not. It's kind of like a many tiered
Yes.
kind of a group. The people at the top, they remain the way they are, but the people at the bottom, they keep changing. So at the national level and at the like lower level than that, so they keep changing. And Donald Trump, I think, realized specifically because of what was going on with the Epstein files, that things can actually backfire. So suddenly his whole thing changed, and he wanted to actually be there just to make money for himself. And that is what happened with Pakistan, the crypto deal. When you look at the whole crypto deal, this guy Bilal, who's the Pakistani Crypto Council CEO, he was actually hired as an advisor to WLF, which is Witkoff's company, and Trump's company, on April 15th. And before that, the Crypto Council was created, and this Bilal was the CEO of that in just March. And then on the 22nd, the Pahalgam happened, and 26th, the deal happened between Witkoff and Pakistan. So something is off. I'm not saying that it's an evidence of like somebody doing something, but the coincidence is just way too much of how the whole thing happened in terms of the schedule. So if you look at that, after that, Trump has been into all these things, trying to like make as much like money out of Pakistan. Or see, the thing is, Pakistan, there are a few powers who have a lot of control over the different power centers in India. So China obviously has one, which they have a very strong control over the communists and media and other people. So does America or the Western countries. But Pakistan also has a very, very strong influence and control over many of the media organizations, the Bollywood, all kinds of politicians. There is a politician from Assam whose wife is linked to Pakistan, and he keeps going there. He's like one of the main opposition leaders, like in India. So, and plus, people who knew, they would say that Mulayam Singh Yadav used to visit Pakistan quite a lot without telling anyone. So there are a lot of politicians who are also under the control of, ISI in Pakistan. So that is why it would make, if India was a target, then it would make sense for the powers that be to engage with Pakistan, and that's exactly what they've done.
Yeah, so Trump raises tariffs on India, and now India is just recently Jaishankar met the Chinese counterpart, and the Chinese press quoted saying that Jaishankar said that Taiwan is a part of China. So that was. Did you read that?
No, I didn't see it, but I'm not surprised. Because see, the time has come, the way they have gone after India, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, when Putin was talking during the whole press conference that was happening, Putin actually threw a wild card for India as well, when he said, well, our trade has increased 20% between US and Russia. That was a clear giveaway to India, that if the US trade with Russia has increased by 20%, then with what kind of logic are they actually going to quote unquote sanction India for what, when they themselves are increasing their entire trade by such a large amount? So the whole situation is very bizarre, and it's like it has less to do with Russia and more to do with how they want to go after Modi ji. And that's how I see it, because Trump wanted something out of India, and Modi ji didn't allow that, because it was a very unnatural and very impossible kind of an ask. And yet Trump wanted that ask, disregarding all the geopolitical strategic like narratives that India has. And I think it was all deliberate, because he has already aligned with the quote unquote deep state now, which I think became extremely wary of India after Operation Sindoor, because nobody has seen that level of sophistication in the air defense that India had.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way now Modi ji has announced Sudarshan Chakra as well in the Independence Day speech.
Right.
So, and it's quite funny that Asim Munir is making threats to Mukesh Ambani. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
That he will take down the refinery in Jamnagar, and
Right.
so all this Pakistan is a puppet of the US as of now, and uh, this is how we see it, right? Like at the moment, and
Right.
yeah, how do you see Pakistan? Will they split? Do you see them splitting, or
See, the thing is that I think US does not want Pakistan to split, because if it does, then one, it loses Balochistan, which has the minerals, which is why Trump actually did the deal, because the crypto stable coin that they wanted to use was going to tokenize the entire national assets. Most of the national assets they've already privatized or sold. The ones, I mean, the mines and all those things which are there in Balochistan, that's what they're after. So so the thing is, I think even the Chinese may have been realizing that their own puppet is going and sleeping with the Americans now, and I don't think they would be very happy with that. So I think going forward, and the reason why the Chinese had left, because of all the killings and suicide bombings that the Balochis were doing. I think that is what America is very wary of, because they have already called BLA as a terrorist organization. So I think they know that this is where it is going, and if it could, like, if this thing goes bad, then like Russia and China could make sure that Balochistan becomes the Afghanistan for America if they don't play it right.
yeah? So it's a very we can't predict the way how Donald Trump keeps changing his statements and policies every day. And so he might go back on the tariffs. Do you think, with respect to
Uh, I would have thought he would, but now I'm thinking that he may not. And the reason is because it has nothing to do with Russia, and even to start with, it had to do with bringing down Modi ji. So as long as Modi ji is there, the tariffs will remain and probably increase. But the thing is, beyond 50%, it really doesn't matter, because the trade has already been finished at 50%. So basically, the supply chains will realign themselves, will change themselves, go through a different route, and so they won't remain business as usual. So what will he do by increasing the tariff? It's more for show after that. So, and plus India is also hedging its bets. It is trying to diversify, whether it's Africa or Latin America or other countries. And like, I think it is pushing the global south and the BRICS countries to come together, because that is the only way that they can actually be away from the control of the US. And given how, if you have seen that photograph where all the European leaders are sitting as if they are school kids in front of the Trump's desk, somewhere they must be thinking that what have they gained out of bending their knee in front of Trump. And they could be more amenable to actually join hands with Chinese and Russians going forward, because the alternative is to become a slave.
Also, also, Deshi, India is pushing the BRICS countries to trade only in Indian rupees.
Correct.
So, what will happen to the US dollar? Eh,
Because, see, I mean, that genius act that he came out with, I think they are actually anticipating that. That's why they are trying to go for a stable coin. And they are thinking that if they can move the whole thing to a crypto linked, currency going forward, maybe that would be the right way. In fact, most of the large groups which are normally associated with the quote unquote deep state, they have already been actually trying to invest into the crypto related stuff quite a lot. So, so there is a tendency for all these people to go and go and align themselves with the crypto thing. So I think they are hedging their bets on crypto going forward. But given that as it may, I think ultimately, if the BRICS and the rest of the countries, global South, decide that they want to be away from dollar as well as the US backed currencies, then it will be very, very tough for the America to keep pushing the same thing, ahead.
yeah, and what does it mean for the people of United States like you? I mean, do you see inflation inflation just going up?
Yeah. So I think in the coming years, there would be a bad impact in terms of inflation, economy going down, the housing, the real estate market falling, and there is no real good economic path forward right now. And it was not even there even with Biden's administration at that time, because things had, the inflation even during Biden's time had grown quite a lot, and now it is just crazy. Things which used to be $10 today is costing $40 or $50. The same restaurants where all of us would go, the entire family, and we would spend like no more than $25. Today we can't come out before spending $50. It has all increased and quite substantially. So I know people in India say, "Oh, the inflation has increased." They have no idea, absolutely no idea how things have gone up here. The kind of increase that has happened in the real estate, normal people cannot afford a home, even in lower tier cities. It's just unbelievable. Where homes used to be just $200,000 or $250,000. Today, you don't get anything below $500,000 to $600,000. A normal person who's even earning $100,000 cannot afford those kind of houses. It's just not possible.
So, do you think Trump is the worst US president in history?
I I think there have in the last few decades there have been quite a few. So like during the time of Biden, there was actually no president. Nobody really knows who was leading it. So so in that sense, I think Trump's ego will take a lot of things down, because see, the thing is that people who voted for Trump, and I voted for Trump, people who voted for Trump did that because they actually liked the people around him, whether it was Elon Musk, Tulsi Gabbard, Vivek Ramaswamy, RFK Jr. All these people were folks who were very accomplished. And we thought, if these are the kind of people he is surrounded with, then the decisions that he'll make will be really good. But the thing is, within a matter of few months, most of those guys are gone now, and in a very bad way. So, people who are remaining do not have much of say anyways these days. I don't know where Kash Patel is. Tulsi Gabbard is, trying to do whatever she can on the Russian, hoax front and all those things. But a lot of things need changing. A lot of things.
Yeah. And as far as on the last point, we say, how does Modi ji and India go forward? Amidst the tension between United States and India, we are trying to reset things with China, and also we have a very good relationship with Russia. So, how do you see things moving forward with respect to India?
Yeah, I think India, see, the good thing that India did was the strategic autonomy thing and to work towards a multipolar world. The multipolar world is there whether we like it or we don't like it. And in that sense, I think India should keep going ahead in that direction. It should hedge its bets. It should not completely close everything with the US. And the reason is because, political things keep changing, political leaderships keep changing. Today, Trump is there. Tomorrow, it could be somebody else who may want to actually work, with India. Now, it doesn't mean that India will go and hug, US and all those things, but at least there can be a diplomatic way of creating off ramps. So work with them, be very formal, create very structured kind of diplomatic communications and diplomatic maneuvers in a way that there are enough of off ramps in case things change, so that the tension can be brought down. Uh, in diplomacy and in geopolitics, it doesn't make sense to close doors with a power like US or
Yeah.
China.
So, thank you very much for this session. It was a very wonderful, informative session. And
Thank
thanks for coming. And we will hope to see you again next week.
thank
So, until then, Jai Hind and Jai Sri Ram.
Jai Hind, Jai Shri Ram. Thank you.